Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to the 11th hour. My name is Dwayne Hirsch, real estate agent with Hirsch Network Real Estate, broker by eXp Realty. And I do this show every so often just to give you an opportunity as a late night entrepreneur. If you're up working on something special, working on your plans, getting yourself ready tomorrow, that you can have something positive to take to bed with you tonight, and maybe it'll inspire you tomorrow. It might address something that you think about, something you want to express to somebody, but can't necessarily do that. So just to talk about it for a minute, today was a really, really exciting day for me. Got a lot done, conference calls all day with some new things that I'm working on that I haven't really talked about yet. We got the networking masterclass coming up this Monday night at Sip and Savor, so we're real excited about that. We'll be releasing the sizzle reel from the second class on business development tomorrow. So that's pretty good. So tonight I just wanted to talk about the fact that I think more of us should let our business do the talking. Everybody these days, I get kind of caught up, like a lot of us do, in watching the way people present themselves in business. And because we operate in a world where everybody gets to create their own business, then that kind of reflects in the way that people express themselves in the social media space, in the way that they put themselves out there. Everybody wants to be a boss these days, but I really don't think a lot of people know what it means to truly be a boss and what the difference is between being a boss and being a leader. It's great if you own your own business, but if being your own boss is the reason why you're in business, then you got to make sure that you approach that from the perspective of being one that leads people and understanding your responsibility to the people that you lead. If you have employees or you service or you work with independent contractors, then you need to have your business established in a way to make sure that everything that needs to happen happens the way it's supposed to happen. So also in businesses where we service one another, it's important that you remember that your client, in my game, real estate, I own my own business. I'm an independent contractor with, license and broker through eXp Realty. But I recognize that I do have a boss. My boss is not even necessarily my managing broker. My boss is my client. It's you. It's you, the person that I serve, because guess what? As a fiduciary, I'm duty bound to do what you say to do. I give you information that allows you to make an informed decision, but the property that somebody chooses and things like that, that's never my decision, ever. It can't be. And if you're doing real estate as a client and you're buying property from somebody, remember that. It's never their decision. It has to be your decision because you're the boss in that situation. An attorney working for a client in real estate or some other form of transaction, the attorney is not the boss in that situation. He's your client, not the other way around. A lot of times people switch these things around when they're dealing with attorneys and real estate agents and people in these service fields, and you almost start working for the expert. But remember that the expert is there to service you and that they always work for you. So the person who's saying that he's a boss is not really the boss, you're the boss, right? So some people put that out there in what I would call a more immodest way. They brag about it a little bit. Everybody's got the little memes about being a boss and all of that. But again, if you don't have employees, you don't have people that you're responsible for, who are you the boss of? We're all the boss of ourselves. But I think that helps to contribute to a culture of misdirection for us and frayed attention span to where we're focused on the wrong thing. Focus on adding value to your business. Focus on building a business that people don't have to feel like you're a welfare case where they got to support you, but they come to your business because it offers real value to them. That's what you have to focus on as a business owner. Not, I'm a boss, hey, everybody look at me. Let them hear about you from the person who referred them to come to your place of business, come to your establishment. I see Albertus on here, shout out to him, bro. You've been a great guy at what you do. You sold cars and done body work and mechanics for years and years. And you get a lot of referrals from that. You employ other people. Other men eat because of you. That's what being a boss is. And on Friday, sometimes you got to be willing to pay them to the exclusion of yourself. That's what being a boss is. It's a massive acceptance of responsibility that you have to deal with in that. And a lot of people, I don't think, really take that responsibility seriously. That's why they play games with us. You know, when I was getting the master class ready, a friend of mine referred me to someone to do a radio ad, you know, one of the internet radio shows, whatever. Paid these people from the ad, ain't heard nothing from them. They haven't emailed us back to say, hey, we ran it, here's a copy, nothing. But on Instagram, they bosses. On Facebook, they bosses. People like them are bosses, ripping other people off every day, pissing everybody else off, but you all over the damn internet being a boss, but not living up to the simplest of your responsibility to the people that are paying you or engaging you or bartering you with you or whatever your arrangement is. And that's another thing that a boss do. You have to live up to the arrangement that you made. I had a guy tell me that I paid to do some video work at the happy hour like 6 months ago. He gave me his price. I paid him his price. He came to me with the offer. I paid him his price, never got nothing. Excuse me, trying to stay hydrated. Never got anything from him. But he's running around in all these political debates and stuff talking about this and that, and he owns this and that. Come on, stop it. A lot of us have been very, very tolerant, and people are not talking enough about how we're doing business with one another in this internal small business community of people, right? So again, in a world where everybody can decide what they want to be and just be it, so you don't have to go to college, you don't have to go to high school even to graduate high school to be able to say I do marketing and be able to get followers for people on Instagram. You don't even have to do that. Hell, people are doing it while they're still in high school. Children are making money off of that. So when you operate in that world, though, it gives people, I think, a misconception. I think it's great that it's like that for one, but I think people are too tied up in the misconception that, you know, when you got a couple of thousand followers and you making a few posts that people really like, that somehow this is positioning you in a position of leadership that might not be properly founded. Are you a real leader, an influencer? If you are, that's great. But most of the time, and I'll be straight with you, the greatest leaders I ever knew never called themselves that. They were called that by other people. Let your employee call you boss. Your assistant, your sales team, let them call you boss. Don't call yourself a boss. The clients you serve, your family, those are your bosses. Your children, maybe your wife, your husband, those are your bosses, so to speak. The people for whom you do it, the people to whom you answer about the things that matter in your life every day. But if nobody's answering, there's a lot of people running around and nobody's following you. Nobody's you're not leading anybody, but you saying you're a boss because that's a cool thing to talk about. Rick Ross started that whole thing, and everybody since then wanted to be a boss. And that's okay. Just live up to it. Let your business do the talking. Be consistent in that business. Go into that business with the proper attitude, the right frame of mind with the people you serve. Don't make me feel like you're doing me a favor because I'm doing business with you. You know, the boss is the boss typically because he knows what the hell he's doing. He knows how to handle business. And you got to be the same, and you have a responsibility to that. So if you want to say that, I'm okay with that. I'm not, ragging anybody about the type of terminology you want to use to describe yourself. But I'm just saying, if you're going to say that, be prepared to live up to it. And that's something each and every one of us got to live up to. Whatever it is that I say to you that I'm a real estate agent owner. I say to you that I do business development and master class. I have to live up to that. Every time I have a class, every time I have an event, I got to live up to that. And every time you do business with a new client, every time you take something on, you got something else to live up to. We talked about that in the business development class, how every success that you have essentially adds another cost to your business. And that cost sometimes is only reflected in accountability. It might be reflected in more time that you have to invest into the business to service new clientele. But every time you win, the cost of doing business goes up. And as a boss, you have to be a person that's prepared to embrace that, absorb that, and fight and push your way forward and do what bosses do and lead your people to a better place, to a more progressive place, or with consistent growth. So you can go from 2 employees this year to 5 to 10 to 20 and start to really do what it is that you want to do. But it's being a boss by your action and not your words. And let other people ascribe that title to you. Sometimes we just can't put those things on ourselves. You have to let other people say that. You have to let other people call you a leader, because the best leader is the one that knows how to follow. If you're a boss, but you're a rebellious ass person who, I ain't got to answer nobody, I ain't got to kiss nobody's ass, and that's your attitude, not really a good boss. You're a boss, but you're not a very good one. And I think we all know people like that, but we want to encourage them to be better. And we want to be better examples to them for those of us who see it differently, like I do. My whole business now is about changing your perspective in all of this. The master classes that I'm teaching is working to change your perspective on how you see business in these different ways. So it's really not a mainstream conversation. We're talking about mainstream things in an unconventional way. Talk to you from experience that's on the ground. And I'm just telling you, after seeing thousands and meeting thousands, tens of thousands of entrepreneurs over the years, with all the networking that I've done, there's a lot of people making those claims to be bosses and these great business people, and they're not really reflecting that in their business. And all I'm saying to you is, if you just focus on your damn business, you'll be fine. Get out of the minutia on Facebook. I say that a lot. Get out of the minutia on Facebook. Get out of the political debates. Get out of the Trump follies of the day and the Omarosa scandal. Get out of that stuff. If you're in a business, you cannot afford to spend 30 minutes, an hour on those things every day. At the end of the night, you're saying you're a boss, then you can't, you're not, then you find out you're not paying people what you own for services that they provided. Listen, we all get into debt and have people that we owe money to. But when somebody pays you for a service, you duty bound to do that service and do it to the best of your abilities. Not, a friend of mine recently had a situation with a guy who he paid a deposit for a service. The service never got done. And then sometimes they had to wait to get these deposits back and stuff. It's just not good business. Nobody told them that the service wasn't going to be done. It's just a bunch of people standing around waiting for something to happen that never does. It's not good business. It's not good business. But what he did was he went to that man and they talked about it directly. He didn't put him on blast. They talked about it directly. And the hope is that he'll learn from that and learn what he lost in that, really, because he lost a great client with great potential, great referrals. But now hopefully he can use that experience to build his business and do better, because he is a great guy and he's got a nice business, but you got to live up to the things that you promise people when you're doing this. It's a high level of accountability that we get built into over and over. So don't want to keep you that long tonight. I just wanted to get that off my chest and encourage you still to come to that last masterclass. It's going to be held at Sip and Savor. Shout out Trez Pugh. It's at 528 East 43rd Street from 6 to 9 p.m. Class price is $79. You can go to DwayneHirsch.com to get your ticket. We only have a few tickets left. I got to get the actual count, but I do encourage you to come to this class and get this last piece on the frame. Now, if you didn't come to the first 2 classes, it's okay. You can still come to this class. We'll do a little bit of a recap of the other 2 to kind of bring you up to speed on where we were. And if you want to do some consultation later and have conversations about that, you're more than welcome to engage me on that level too. So again, don't make the 11th hour your last hour. Go for 30 more minutes, an hour. If for those of you who are some real night owls, I hope that this conversation helps to give you the drive to keep going. Be consistent in your business, approach it with a positive mental attitude, and let your business do the talking. Thanks, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.